When I was originally given this opportunity to speak to you today, I was told that I wasn't told I would need to roughly fill about 10 minutes of time. So when I sat down and started doing my notes, I came to the conclusion I could go one of two ways with this. I could write a whole lot about myself, my personal, my family, my career, with a great little blurb at the end for the CCRW and all the wonderful programs they have. Or I could show you 8 minutes of amazing cat videos I found on YouTube. So I'm going to let you decide which way I went with that. So as Maureen said, my name is Dax Kurtz. I was born in a small town in Saskatchewan where my father was the school principal and my mother was the school secretary. So as you can imagine, when a day went bad at school, it went really bad when I got home. I started my first job working in retail in the town's only grocery store, where I was the cashier, the grocery associate, the receiver, the cart boy, and the box boy. And when the boss was away, I did the night deposits as well as balancing the tills. And that was all in a typical day. And now that I think back to that, at $3.65 an hour, he might have been taking advantage of me. I went on to attend college in Alberta, took business administration, and quickly realized throughout that process that I had very little interest in becoming an accountant or an appraiser or sitting in an office anywhere doing anything like that. The good news is I had hung on to my little part-time retail job. So I figured, you know what, I'll stick it out. Something will come along and show me the path, right? That was 27 years later. Now I know what you're thinking. I'm much too young looking for 27 years in retail, and that's only because I started when I was 10. So my career really, I started unloading trucks. Like retail, most of the jobs you start entry level. I started unloading trucks at a Canadian Tire store in Alberta. After lots of hard work, in about 6 months, I was offered the opportunity to move on with the owner to a store in New Glasgow, Nova Scotia. I became the office supervisor after lots of hard work in about 4 years. Again, got the opportunity to move to my corporate office with Canadian Tire in Toronto, where I was able to visit stores coast to coast, offering help and support in their retail environments. After about 8 years, 950 flights on Jazz Airlines, I'll throw that out for him, I got another opportunity. I'm going to open a store in Scarborough, Ontario, as the manager, ultimately relocating to Markham. Again, another 8 years of hard work. There's a theme here, I promise. I was given the opportunity to finally own a franchise store with Giant Tiger, moved back to the east to New Minas, Nova Scotia. So where I am still today, and you notice I'm not saying after a lot of hard work, because the hard work continues. And that's my point to the long, boring story, is that throughout the process, lots of hard work. And the lots of hard work delivered the opportunities. And those opportunities are open to anybody who can apply lots of hard work. So that's the moral of the story. That's what did it. I'm not smart. I'm not good looking. I'm not any of the above things. I put in a lot of hard work, and the opportunities came to me. So at home, I have a blended family, consists of my partner, Lisa, and 5 loud and annoying children. They age and range from 20 in university and really into football players, to 2 two-year-old twin girls in diapers and into absolutely everything. So hard work is really the least of my worries. Giant Tiger, as you may or may not know, is a 100% Canadian-owned company, started by Mr. Gordon Reed just down the road here in the Byward Market. Started in 1961. Today we have over 240 stores coast to coast and more opening all the time. The store I own is located, as Maureen mentioned, in the Annapolis Valley, which is a primarily agricultural region of Nova Scotia, known for their apples and fruit growth, and more recently, really developing some fantastic wines that are getting some world recognition. So I would encourage you to come on down and have a visit. My store has about 27 staff, does $8 million in annual sales. And for anybody, again, 20,000 square feet, anybody who's never been in a Giant Tiger store, I describe it as a small Walmart, with the only difference being is the people care. Hopefully those in Walmart care. I was told once early on in my career that there's 2 types of retailers. There's cheap and there's really cheap. Now, I don't know where I fit. My staff could probably tell you. But the thing is with retail, the market as we know it is more competitive today than we have ever seen it before. More and more of those sales are going online, and we are fighting harder than ever to grab that customer's attention and get them into the box. The other part that goes part and parcel with that is we need to find ways to reduce costs and operate a step ahead of our competitors. Truly only fast adapting, lean operating retailers will survive, as we've seen with Sears and some of the other retailers that have passed on. Add to that the ever elusive, hard to attract, and hard to hold on to employee who wants to come in, work hard, do it with a smile on their face, and treat the customers the way they want to be treated. So here's the sales pitch. I learned a long time ago that there's these wonderful programs out there that will help me screen, train, develop staff, and bring them to me. And the best part of all is they actually will give me money to do it. And it doesn't sound like it could be something that's true, but it is. Here's the proof. In my first 5 years of business in New Minas, Nova Scotia, in my tiny little store in the middle of nowhere, with organizations like the CCRW, I took to the bank $60,000 in subsidy funding. In my best year of those 5 years, I took $33,000 to the bank. That is a huge sum of money for a small little retailer that came right off the bottom line. For a small business fighting, like I say, these competitive numbers are huge. I run historically one of the best productivity percentages of any store within Giant Tiger, and now you know my secret. The program and my local CCRW office know what my needs are, understand who I'm looking for, they understand what qualities and competencies my staff need. They pre-screen candidates for me, saving me all the time assorting resumes and applications. And when they find the right one, all it takes is a phone call to me and I set up the interview. I don't even question it. I have that much faith in the program, the screening, and my local candidates in getting the job done. The other thing is that those employees traditionally, when hired, have longer careers with me, come to the door happier every day, treat my customers better than anybody else that I'm adding off the street. They're there because we've given them that chance. They undoubtedly have an unfair advantage over anyone I'm hiring off the street simply because the funding's attached that makes the risk less for me. Every placement doesn't work, it never does. At our peak, 42% of all my staff came from some type of program or subsidy. 33% of them still work for me today. Those that don't have gone on to careers in the military, paralegal, nurses, Michelin Canada, you name it. The successes far outnumber the failures. So just so I cut off before I get cut off, I want to leave you with 3 thoughts. You get pre-screened, vetted applicants who have the skill sets you're looking for, saving you time. They come with money attached to help train, develop, and get them underway, saving you money. Your community will recognize you as an inclusive, accepting, and equal opportunity employer. You're saving the world. Thanks.